So we are here at Deadlift. I'm gonna do hamstrings. I'm gonna do a superset of adductors and adductors. I'm gonna do 20 reps, 3 sets. I really get them loaded up. I'm doing the adductors just to bring out inside my legs a little more. So, you know, those shots like my front double bicep, flaring the quads a bit. I wanna have a little more detail. So I would recommend doing this when you're training legs period. Use that as your actual warm up. To warm up your glutes and your adductors. So when you start moving, you're already warm. Anyway, let's go.
You guys want to go see a dead body?
My advice would be, if anything, you can just, I like to touch my core and make sure I'm breathing through there, engaging the entire time. So some good advice for you guys to do, feel the areas that you're trying to engage. I do all the time. I want to make sure that I'm activating the right muscles, so I might just touch and feel around to make sure that I'm consistently engaging. We're done here. I'm gonna head over and do lying hamstring curls and a sitting hamstring curl. So they both do different parts of the hamstring. So you do want to do both. You don't have to do both, but I recommend those who are trying to really hit the bicep femoris, your hamstrings, is to do a lying hamstring curl and a sitting hamstring curl. And that way you're hitting both. It's just like a bicep. You know, you can do a couple of movements to hit different parts of your bicep. Now when it comes to hamstrings, there's a lot more to it than just, you know, your bicep. So I'm gonna head over and do that right now and give you some tips on that. When we're doing this, we're trying to really keep our hips on the platform as much as possible. So, like, use the rest of your body. When you're holding on the grips, engage your lats, because when you're tightening that part of your body, you're helping isolate every other muscle group you're trying to hit. In this case, obviously, hamstring. So, it's good work. Hamstrings are toast already. So, hard sets here, 15 to 20 reps. I'll keep it high. This is just for prep. For you guys out there, you know, I'll stick to something like 10 to 15 reps. You know, 2 to 3 second negative. You can always make it harder by, you know, controlling the top and then have that slow negative. 2 hard sets each movement. So, and then my rest is not that long. It's about a minute and a half rest. So really working a little bit at that muscle endurance as well too. I know I'm not gonna put on any muscle right now. It's 4 weeks out, so I'm really trying to get as much as I can out of my cardio, vascular health and output during this time of prep. Kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Let's go to this seated hamstring curls. So some really good tips on the, make sure that part on your hamstring, on your quad, push it in really tight. So make sure it locks right down. So your hips stay right on the bench and push onto these handles. You want to push onto them, not pull. You want to push. Now push yourself back into the bench more and you can have a lot better engagement when you're, you know, flexing at that knee. And then if you really want to make it really hard, point your toes. That's going to elongate that hamstring and make it way harder. So try that. I'm gonna do it for my next set. I'm gonna point my toes. I have to lighten the load a lot more. It's not as strong as if you're, say, dorsal flex. So dorsal flex being your toes pointed towards your shins, plantar flex being your toes pointed away. So basically being on your tippy toes would be plantar flex. And being just like standing straight on the ground, the feet flat, and then pulling your toes up would be like dorsal flex. So that's what that basically means. So I'm doing my next set with toes pointed. Let's do it again.
You are now listening to 100 Reps.
All right, so I'm gonna finish off here with stiff leg deadlifts. I'm gonna do with a barbell. I like doing the barbell because it's easier for me to hold. Dumbbells are good too. Nothing wrong doing dumbbells. I like working the unilateral work, but I like doing the barbell here. A little easier activation. I can really push into my lats a lot more, keep myself engaged. So we're gonna do these. Keep the load light. Hamstrings are this, especially this exercise, you want to just like engage as much as you can. Like you want to feel your glutes, the hip flexion, your hamstrings really working. And you don't have to load up as much. Like you can argue that, you know, off season for sure I would load up a little more, but for the sake of just being 4 weeks out, body fat low, I don't need to load the weight up. I'm trying to like really just focus on really hitting the muscle as much as I can, loading it with blood, and really just trying to stay away from injury this far out from a f***ing show. So I'll go through this for you guys, give you guys good advice, tips. I'm not really bending at the waist much. My hips are, like someone's pulling my hips back, and that's all the weight's going down. That's forcing load onto my hamstring and my glutes some more. But being able to keep my back as straight and flat and neutral as possible, and that extreme hip flexion, I'm gonna load the glutes a lot more and then really squeeze the top and still getting really good activation with the hamstring. But I just start off my workout doing hamstring isolated movements. So not much work on the glutes. The only work I did really much on the glutes was from the abductors. So it's a good way to finish this. You know, I'm always encouraging, you know, really exhausting that big muscle group before you actually hit it. That way you don't have to load as much. And that's more so for people who are just like really trying to get in shape and, you know, having good, you know, muscularity and balance in a sense. But if you're really trying to build that muscle, then yeah, for sure, I would put that as a priority. Load it up a little more, but don't load it to a point where you can't control it with 100%. So there's no point in you loading up anything where you can't control it, and all of a sudden you're just putting a bunch of other muscle groups in there and then eventually getting injured. But again, I'm not saying lighten the load so much that you just do the movement. That's not the point. Anyway, that's that. Try that workout out. Give it a try. That's an exercise. I'm done. Hamstrings, 4 weeks out. I'm tired as shit. You see my face is getting even more pronounced. Like I'm getting less, like I'm losing my face. Anyway, I don't know if Greg brought his calipers up, but either way at this point, I'd rather have his laser eye vision than the calipers because, you know, like I said, the calipers are always going to give me a bigger test because my skin's different, especially even this weekend. The cortisol level's up for sure. Just running around, being, you know, in a stressful environment, being away from my routine. So I'll definitely hold water and I'll definitely pinch higher. But when you look at me, you're definitely like, for sure, you got leaner. So there's no way in heck you're going to be like, he's 11%, 10%. You're like 8 for sure. So we'll see what the doc says. Let's get at it. So we're going to get the body fat done.
Yep.
Greg's training his one arm, one shoulder.
Training 3/4 of my body, whatever's remaining.
Yeah, long weekend judging. He judged all day. It's tiring. You fell asleep?
Technically, I fell asleep in the finals.
Did you?
In the night show 3 times. But I didn't have to judge that because it was already done in the morning. So
yeah.
I was awake when it mattered.
Yeah, there's like when you're amateur, most shows, they're all done. Judging's done in the morning.
Except for the overalls.
Except for overall.
Yeah, so at night, there was maybe out of 5 hours judging, maybe 30 minutes was actually work. The others was just watching the show.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna get my body fit done here. So we'll get 2. We'll get the laser eye because the laser eye is gonna be a little more accurate. It will be, which is actually crazy because I'm saying this. And then we'll give you the caliper numbers, which I'm gonna assume are gonna be a little off. I got to bed at 1 o'clock. Goes up at 4:30. And I did an hour and a half of cardio right in a row, and then I was coaching on my feet the whole day. Tried to take a 20-minute nap in the afternoon. That didn't work. And then I, you know, finished the show at 12 o'clock at night, and then woke up and did my cardio in here. I haven't eaten yet, so I'm being out of routine. So I would assume I'll probably hold some water. I would assume so, but everything's been off this weekend. Out of routine, I'm out of whack, but I'm still getting lean, so that's all that matters.
Man, that elbow hurts. That freaking thing, it's never gonna go away. Every time I like really try to push a little bit more.
It looks like it's kind of like,
I don't think
it's swollen.
The funny thing is, like, I break this elbow and this is the good one. I should have crashed on this one. I could have fixed it all at once.
Might as well do it. I just
Sometimes it's to the point where you wish you could just like start over.
Mine,
You know, just like
can't.
redo it. Like,
see, I caught my injuries early enough, but still late. Like late enough for my back.
for me, it was way too late.
Yours is way too late.
I was 2 years past when I was supposed to get my hip operation,
Yeah,
and that was 8 years ago.
that was when I moved in with you.
So, man, it's been a while.
Yeah, so it's a lesson to you guys. That's why we're preach to what we preach, because we've made the mistakes that you guys can make if you don't listen to us.
And you guys think, oh, Greg, you're wrong. You should do ass to grass squats. And I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah. And if I hadn't have done them, and mine wasn't even that low, I probably wouldn't have had the surgery.
Yeah.
So,
Well, you had to
is it
go.
worth it? Really?
It's not at
Unless
all.
you're made to do it.
Yeah.
Still got one good arm.
That's a lesson. It's a lesson to you all. It doesn't mean train light and just be a pussy and lift nothing. It means lift smarter with maximum effort. So you want to make sure that you're, exhausting the muscle, not annihilating your joints and ligaments. That's what that fucking means. So unless you're a professional powerlifter or someone that's required to go ass to grass and do all this other extra shit, you're training to look good. And training to look good doesn't require you to kill yourself and being injured. Because if you're injured, guess who doesn't look good? You. You look injured. And looking injured sucks.
Yeah, the second part. It's interesting too because you just finished watching a bodybuilding show
Yeah.
where everyone's dehydrated to the max.
My eyes are...
So like 8% dehydrated with diuretics looks leaner than, you know what I mean?
Oh, it's terrible here.
It's not.
Should have came right here.
It's better there, yeah.
Seven and a half's not bad. 4 more weeks. Now here's the biggest thing. This scale. So how do you
Oh
think?
goodness gracious. This isn't a scale.
No. So lean forward. I'm gonna lean back.
198. 180. Or what's that? Oh no, wait. 198.
What do you normally?
191.
What do you normally?
With
shoes
shoes on? I'd probably think I'd be like 194 or 5.
So let's see what this thing.
If you stand as centered as possible, we're at 223. 222.
If I lean forward as much as I can.
226.
So right there's
220 to 226. So 223 probably is your weight.
You know what? It kind of makes sense to be like that body fat from your eyes because the drop's not as like, you know what I mean? Like it's not as pronounced. Like it's a
What do you
lower
mean,
drop.
your weight isn't going down?
No,
as
the
much?
body fat percentage.
Oh yeah.
It's like little increments instead of being like, you know.
0.5% body fat a week is a lot. Really. Unless you're like in the fatter territory, it's quite a bit to lose.
Yeah.
0.5% a week, because that's 2% per month.
Yeah.
To go from 6 to 4, that's the difference between being like ripped to being like out of your tree, shredded, mind blowing, stupid, like gonna die. That's a month. You know, you can go from being like relatively like feeling not bad to like wanting to not exist.
Guys, before we go any further, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Y'all are watching the damn videos. Y'all watching my videos, not subscribing. Subscribe right now. Get everything all the behind the scenes, the journey, ups and downs, highs and lows, the good, the bad, the great, the not so great. Get it all. Subscribe.